Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is that you are catching this replay. I am so excited to share today's conversation with you all. The amazingly wonderful Ebony Magee-Chambliss. Thank you so much for being with us today. How's it going?
It's going well, and thank you so much. And thank you for this sincere welcome, Cheryl. I appreciate the invitation and this creating the Occupy 2025, like this space
The
for bold
space.
conversations. Yes, I
Yes.
love it.
Yes. That way we're not moving forward in fear. We're not moving forward with like a lot of hesitation because there's so much uncertainty right
Yes,
now. Oof, the uncertainty is uncertain.
yes,
And we're at the middle of 2025. So I often say that like I feel like the midpoint of the year is an opportunity to kind of reset
yeah,
our thinking, to retrain our brains. If we came into the year because that we do that, right? We
yeah,
get to December 31st and we've got all the ideas of what we're going to do in the next year. And January 1st, I'm doing all the things. And by February,
yeah,
the things are looking for us. They're like, hey, I'm here.
yeah,
Here's the door. Here's the opportunity.
yes,
What are we going to do? So I often like to look at the middle of the year as like a way to reset,
yeah,
get us recharged and refreshed and really ready to pursue things that we may have put on our plate that we just kind of left there and
yeah.
they've just been sitting. So tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Yes, 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 yes. So personally, I am, of course, a believer.
Amen.
I am hardworking. I am a person who loves research. I'm a person who is a sister, a friend, a wife, a mother. Professionally, I am a CEO and I'm the lead business consultant at Ebony Consulting, which stands for Every Business Opportunity Needs You. I'm the everyday woman. I'm the everyday entrepreneur. I am Ebony.
You've been where many of these women are.
Yeah.
You've been there
Hmm.
from the startup, you
Yeah.
know, trying to figure out, okay, what business am I really being called to start? Because I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes I would say this. I am finding that these days that is a hot topic question for women who, especially for
Hmm.
those of us who are multi-gifted,
Yeah.
multi-talented, um, and maybe have multiple interests. What is the
Yeah.
thing that I need to be doing right now? What's the thing that I need to be focused on right now? And I often say, like, you can't focus in multiple places at one time, right?
Mhm.
Focus is singular.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are listening who are multiple have multiple interests, multi-talented, multi-gifted, multi-skilled, this conversation is designed to help you have a singular focus,
Yeah.
whether you are just getting started or you are already in business. We're going to help to kind of center you a bit,
Yeah.
and this will guide you forward into a strong finish over the course of the rest of 2025. So I am very, very excited to have someone with Ebony's depth of knowledge and insight as a business consultant, as a business owner herself. There are things that she's going to share with us. So I'm going to let her take the lead. We'll pop in for a couple of questions here and there.
Yeah.
Ebony, have your way.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so happy that you mentioned about just focusing. Sometimes as women and as entrepreneurs, we think we have to be 100 at everything. We think we have to multitask, and that's time management. And it's really burnout. You can
Mm,
only focus that one thing. And as I mentioned before, I'm a believer. And so sometimes you could do or have multiple gifts or multiple talents, but your gift, your purpose, you really have to tap into it. And sometimes it's already what you're doing, what comes naturally. So, say for instance, I'm a consultant, but before I came a consultant, legally, people will call me and say, "Hey, Evan, I have an idea. What you think about this?" So it's something that I was already doing. Or
yeah.
if you know someone who is into event planning, and somebody say, "Oh, can you come decorate this party?" They're just naturally gifted. It's something that just comes naturally. I have a sister who has a decorating company, a balloon company, and a cleaning company. And when we go into a white space, all I see, because I'm analytical, is I see white space. But
Yeah.
she's like, "No, I see the balloons here," and I'm like, "I don't see any of that." But that comes naturally to her
To
because
her.
that's what she's called to.
Yeah.
In our gift, it hits so many people. So it's something that she's loved, something that she calls to. But when I notice her customers or her clients, it's a feeling that they get. It's because she's fulfilling her purpose and her gift. So as an entrepreneur, it's really what you're doing, what seems naturally and maybe hard for others. So tapping into that purpose. And I'm so happy that you mentioned that. But today we are going to talk about road to scale. And knowing when to scale your business is one of the most critical decisions any entrepreneur can make. Because I find two things: either they scale too early, which could be damaging just as scaling too late. And then, as mentioned earlier about the administration, we kind of talked about that with administration and changes and who's in the White House and this is being cut. I find that people or entrepreneurs are stuck. They're afraid. I'm afraid to sign the lease for the building. I'm afraid to invest into these products. I'm afraid to launch this so they stay, they stay
They're
stagnant.
staying stagnant
Yeah, they're staying
because of
stagnant.
things that they can't control that are
Yes.
happening politically, that are
Yes.
happening in legal spaces. I feel like we still have some of that pandemic trauma
Yes.
as well. Like I knew people who started businesses a month before, like signed leases a month before the world shut down.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, I'm never going through that again. I'm never going through that again. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna try. If this was God's idea, why did he let me?
Yes. Exactly.
It's some of it's fear, some of it's uncertainty, but in both spaces they're stagnant. They're stuck
Yeah.
and moving forward. So that's a good point to make, is that scaling too soon is just as detrimental as not scaling at all or not scaling timely. Yeah,
Exactly. Because you could miss the boat. You could miss the boat.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And one thing is you have to think about, and these are questions that I would ask myself. You have to be consistent with your revenue and your profitability.
Hmm.
First of all, you have to know your numbers. And I always tell clients this: it's not about what you think you made. You have to be able to touch it. If you want an investor, a bank, or a loan officer to approve anything, you have to know your numbers. You have to know that your healthy cash flow and your financial cushion. Do you have that? Do you have a business plan? Are you generating steady profits over the month? And is your revenue predictable or not just from one-time sales? I remember during COVID, I would get like a good month and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for this. And I would launch off something thinking because that one time I
At
had
one
that good
month.
month.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what made you do that? So now I look at my numbers and then I allow that to kind of dictate what I'm ready for. Sometimes we're ready to hire a team, but our job or our business may not be able to pay for that right now. You have
Right.
to know your numbers.
Yeah.
I tell my clients all the time, without data, it's like navigating or driving without navigation. You're driving, you're going, but I don't know where I'm going. I'm driving. And I look at numbers all the time, and there's numbers all around us. Social media, you see insights.
Hmm.
Even
The
with my accounting
analytics.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see all of those things.
Yeah.
Even with my accounting tools, it tells me what are my good days, what are my days that I sell. So my days personally or professionally, I should say, Thursdays at 12 noon. My target audience is women. So I know that at 12 noon they're at work. They probably got paid a little earlier than they expected on Friday. So at 12 noon, they're paying their bills. So on Thursday morning and Wednesday evening, I'm marketing. So all of that, those numbers influence how my sales come
Your
in,
actions on,
my actions.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Know your numbers. So I always say that, know your numbers. And then number two, it's scaling without stable income can drain resources fast, just like I told you about the errors. If anybody wants to talk about all the errors you made in business, I did. I was a person that launched during COVID. I was like, I'm out of here. I worked in the healthcare industry. I was an area practice manager, had stable income. Um, we was building a new site during COVID. So when everybody was at home or when people was losing
Oh,
their job, I had steady. But I was called to leave my job. I literally left my job that day. I was like, you know what? And they thought I was preparing for a board meeting. I had turned in my computer. I did
stop.
a scheduled time at 5 o'clock. They thought I was in my office. I left as soon as I came. They were knocking on my door. I went to Waffle House to celebrate. I was
Ebony,
gone. I was gone, Cheryl. I was gone.
the people thought they was prepping for a meeting and you were prepping to leave.
I had left. I wiped my desk
Wow.
down. I put the laptop, the phones, and I said, I think today is gonna be the day. But I knew it was
Wow.
time because I had already knew my numbers. I had already had a team that was working at my business. And so I was able to do that. So I was already collecting income and I was working my business until my job got in the way. And that's when I knew it was time for me to scale. When
Now
you
that say that I like that. Hold on. I like that.
yeah,
Work the business until the job gets in the way. So
absolutely.
this means you had grown enough.
Yeah, to scale.
It wasn't I'm tired of working,
No,
right? That's an emotional decision.
exactly.
It was solid data
Yeah,
that gave you the insight. So it's data plus faith,
yeah,
right?
yes,
That not just I'm just gonna take a leap of faith
yeah,
and then we got to take up an offering for you to pay your bills because you just jumped out there wild and randomly. So
yes,
it's data plus faith,
yeah. Of faith plus data.
faith plus data.
Yeah.
You
Because
had
in the
already
Bible it
heard the
says you
voice
want to
of God
plan.
that this is what there's a business Ebony needs to start. Okay, Lord, what are the steps? And then following
Exactly.
his voice to determine the steps,
Yeah,
making sure you're looking at your numbers, making sure you're stewarding the business well
yeah,
until the day you just go in there, wipe down your desk, leave your laptop and your phone, and go eat at Waffle House.
yeah. That's it. That's no emotions with it.
No
By the time
emotions.
none, none.
Yes, no emotions.
Yes.
Because
You
I'm
have to
tired of
make it
my
happen.
job. I don't like my boss. I'm not making enough money. These are not good enough reasons to
Yeah,
jump out and just say, I'm going to go start a business. And so, to your point, scaling without the necessary resources.
exactly. Exactly. Build as you go. Build as you go. So before let's rewind a little bit. So before I stepped out, so people probably said, "Oh, it looked like she just made a rational decision or out of emotions." But it was a year before that I had already invested into my equipment, my computers, my team, my things. So I was every month I had a plan on you need to get this accomplished. Do you have your business plan? Is your business registered? The same week that I quit my job,
Mhm.
I had my billboard to be launched. I couldn't put it there before because there was a conflict of interest. But I put as soon as that same week in the same block, I put my billboard out because I was now ready to accept new clients. I had already had it mapped out. And you have to have a strategic growth plan. You have to map out how, where, and when you want to scale. You have to consider new markets, your service, your customer segments. Is your business structure prepared for growth? You know, sometimes we run to LLCs, and that's the most common one. But then there's a time when you have to pivot and become an S corp, and then a
Right.
corporation. And
Right.
a lot of people don't know that you have to be able to scale with strategy. It's almost like building with blueprints.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes we look at things such in a broad way. In 5 years, I want to have this, and that's good. But we never talk about okay, like you said, the mid-year. Have I completed what I said I was
What
going to
I
do?
said I was gonna do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. When I talk to my clients and we go to our next quarter goals, so every quarter I say, hey, what do you want to accomplish this quarter?
Mhm.
They give me a list of things and I say, look, did you finish what you said you was going to do in quarter two and quarter one? Let's rewind, get you caught up to speed, and then now we have to include your next quarter goals. So
Yeah.
you have to hold yourself accountable. And sometimes when I even speak about clients with a business plan, they think of a big formal guide, and of course you should have that, especially if you're looking to grow or to get loans and things like that. But
Yeah.
I started off with a checklist. Did you contact this client back? Did you give feedback? Did you make this appointment? Did you work on this? So sometimes that list means just a blank piece of paper and brain
And
dump
some steps.
and those
Write
steps.
out some steps. I like to tell people, especially when they're just starting out,
Yeah.
to do a lean business plan.
Yes.
It does not have to be and here's the thing, business plans are necessary, but you don't have to start out with a 50-page document that
Mhm.
you don't even understand,
Yes.
right? You went and got a template and
Yeah.
started plugging in your information, but if someone were to sit with you at a funding or lending institution and sit with you and ask you questions about these 50 pages, and
They will.
they will, you can't even answer the questions because you don't really understand the inner workings of your own business. So
Yes.
I like to tell people to start with a lean business plan.
Yes.
It can be just 1 to 2 pages. My recommendation would be no more than 3 to 5 starting out,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you're a solopreneur. So if
Yeah.
you are starting out and it's not a partnership, it's not you and another person, it's not you and a team, if it's just you and you alone, you,
Mhm.
like I always say, you're the whole C-suite, you're the whole marketing team, you are customer service, you're the admin, you're the marketing director, you're all the things.
Yeah.
Just having something as a guide,
Hmm.
right? And it's a living document. A business plan isn't just something that you do at the beginning, which is why I love the fact that you mentioned going back and looking at quarterly goals.
Yeah.
It's a living document. Did we do what we say we were going to do? If so, it's time to update the business plan with what's next.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not just we write the business plan and then we never look at it. And I see that all the time. And I'm pretty sure you do too. Like people
Yeah.
write business plans, they start out and then it's like, okay, well, what does the plan say?
Yeah.
I wrote that like 2 years ago. You've been in business 2 years and you never
Yeah.
went back to the business plan and you've actually made money or you've actually changed I've seen people who have changed their entire business model.
Yeah.
You don't even offer the services that are in the business plan anymore and you haven't updated the plan.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
It's a living document
A living document that needs to be reviewed often.
often.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
often is relative. So if that's once every quarter, if that's once every 6 months, if it's once a year, but at the very least, it needs to be reviewed whenever goals are met, and it needs to be reviewed whenever you make major changes
Yeah.
to the structure of the business, which is why having a lean business plan within the first couple of years of the business is easy. I mean, like than starting out with that 50-page document because that gets to be a lot more cumbersome.
Yeah.
In the early stage of your business, unless you're seeing explosive exponential growth in the
Yeah.
business, in which case, if that's what's happening, then you do need to start hiring people
Yeah.
if you don't know how to manage those parts of the business. But unless you're seeing explosive exponential growth, a lean business plan is something that's easy for you to update.
Exactly. Yep. And it's to be able to explain. Just like you said, meeting with somebody, it's easy to explain. It's a one sheeter, two sheeter, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. And sometimes you need those fresh eyes to pull out that big long package. Or even like you said, sometimes when I'm just starting out with a client, having a business plan can be overwhelming to them. That lean canvas is right in their face,
Yes.
able to explain it. They're able to tell others about their business, their mission, their vision, their growth strategy. So that lean canvas is really the thing. And I'm seeing that more often now than the bigger business plan. Even
Absolutely.
though, yeah,
I feel like the lean canvas I'm glad you brought up that particular tool. And I'll provide a link to one
Mhm.
that I have used in the past when working with people. Um, I feel like it also helps business owners answer questions they may not have thought about,
Yeah.
right? Like the biggest thing to me in the Canvas is the competition piece.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't have any competition. I'm not, you've got competition.
Yes,
You
you do.
do. Unless what you're doing is like truly, truly innovative
Yeah.
and something we've never seen or heard before. If somebody's getting paid to do the same thing you're talking about doing, that's your competition.
Exactly.
And you may not have thought to look. Just because you don't see it in your area doesn't mean you don't have competition. But we live in a global economy.
Exactly.
They're buying what you sell from somewhere,
Yes.
even if it's not in your local area. They're getting it from somewhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that too, because as like let's use an example. If I had a local boutique, I might be looking at Sally's boutique, but Amazon is also my competitor.
Hello. Amazon is everybody's competitor. Let's
Everybody.
be clear.
Yes. And then
Amazon
guess
is
what?
everybody's competitor,
Exactly. And then Amazon have now competitors, So
right?
everybody has competition. You have small, you have, it depends. You have regional, you have all these different competitors. Everybody has a look, I'm competing with AI right now. When I
Or
started, I had to write, I
had to
built
write it out.
websites. I had to
Yeah.
write everything out.
Yeah.
So now I'm
You
competing
had
with
to sit, you
AI.
had to think, you had to process,
Yes.
it took a while. Now you're like, because I teach people how to use AI in their
Yeah.
business, you are at the mercy of people who know how to prompt AI
Yeah.
better than you do. And
Yeah.
so you're getting faster results. It
Yeah.
doesn't, it's not a full, so those of you who know that I maybe have worked with doing AI, we already know it's not a full replacement for that human connection,
Yeah.
the different nuances of what it is to think like a human,
Yeah.
but it's spitting out answers.
Look. Yes.
And you may run into somebody who used AI and didn't know what they were doing when
Yeah.
they were starting out, creating a business plan. And it's like, well, no, let me humanize it. Let me make it
Yeah.
make sense for you and things like that. So, yeah,
Absolutely. And we have to embrace it. It's coming. We have to learn how to pivot with
it's
it. Don't work
here.
against it.
It's here. It's
It's
not
here.
going anywhere. And
Yes.
you and we've been using it for years. I mean,
Yeah.
if you use Netflix, if you use Spotify, if you use Facebook or Instagram, it's been a part of your daily life
Yeah.
forever already.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so good. And then also too, we kind of talked about when to know and when to scale, but there are some times when we have to say no, not yet. Like, are you still experimenting with your product or your service? Or is your customer feedback inconsistent or mostly negative? Again, data or financial support your next move. They have to be able to support your next move. And are you running your business solo or with no support team? Because I can scale, but I'm only one person.
one person, yeah,
Yeah, you have to be honest with yourself. And then you have to, again, identify some of these questions and ask yourself, what's driving your desire to scale? Is it ego? Because it could be ego. You could be looking at Sally and seeing what she's doing. And you're like, oh, I could do that. And you might be out there and not ready.
that's not a good enough reason to do it. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up
Yes.
because your motives matter
Yeah.
behind all of this. If you
Yep.
are just trying to get bigger because your third grade teacher told you you weren't going to make it,
Yes.
that's not a good enough reason to be
Yeah.
spending thousands of dollars on inventory that you can't sell because you don't know how to sell, right? You're mad that your friends and family aren't buying. They don't need tea every week. Like
Yes.
they don't need it. Your friends and
Yeah.
family can't be the entire basis for can't be your entire customer base. And then you're mad with people
Oh,
because this isn't your market.
yep.
So like to your point of customer feedback,
Yeah.
I don't know if people really understand how important that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And you should be able to test your products and your service. You should, any business owner, I don't want to say you have to have thick skin, but you do.
You do.
But any business owner, if everybody's telling you, this is good and this is perfect and this is excellent, then that means to tell me there's no room to grow, scale, or to look at your product or service to give a better product. Um,
That's good. That's
yeah.
good. If everybody says it's great, you have no room to grow.
No, yeah. I remember at my job when I was doing the evaluation, and we used to have to give ourselves, fives, fours, threes, and stuff. And so at one point I used to put myself a little lower. And then I started saying, you know what, I could do 4 or 5, this and all that. And my boss at the moment told me, or at the time, told me if everything is a 5, then there's no room for you to grow in this position. You have to either look at another position. You've already tapped out. So that means, that's really look at it and see if you're a 5 and you need to have another position. Or that's look at it and say what things that you can
What's
improve.
realistic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's realistic.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't being realistic. What happened was I was giving myself low because I was out of fear. And then my boss said, "You always give yourself low." So I was like, "Well, let me give myself high." But if I'm really true and honest, this product or service can be improved.
Hmm.
And so sometimes that might take getting some feedback. We see it on Amazon all the time where we see, negative reviews, good reviews and things, but I don't always look at the negative reviews. I'll look at their response. Or I apologize that this happened. Because of this, we're gonna do this, 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 and this. I want to see how you solve
How
problems,
you responded to
how
the
you
negatives.
respond.
That's so good.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
so good.
Yes, because that's real. That's, nothing is perfect. So I would like to see how you respond to it. And then also too, when you're scaling, if you had 100 new clients that came in tomorrow, and I'm talking to myself, if
Hmm.
100 people scheduled with me tomorrow, can I really serve them without breaking, without affecting my family, without affecting how I do business? Can you handle the demand that you're going to do it on a,
That's a powerful question.
yeah,
Can I handle what I desire?
yeah,
Because you didn't start the business for the business to fail.
yeah,
But can I handle an increased demand?
yeah,
And whether that's products or services, right?
yeah,
Because on the services side, for those of us who are on the services side, the demand is on our time.
yeah, yes,
If a
yeah,
hundred people needed my time today, do I have within my current offer suite something that would accommodate them that
yeah,
would need to look like a group thing or an event or something virtual, right?
yeah,
If I don't already have that, trying to fit 100 people as a wife, as a homeschooling mother,
yes,
right? Like we homeschool.
yeah,
So we homeschool year round. So our son
wow,
doesn't get the same breaks that everybody else gets. Just it works for us.
yes,
Could I handle an influence? And it doesn't sound like a lot of people, but we're talking
yeah,
about people.
yes,
People can be a lot, right? Like 100 people doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be depending on the nature of their problem, depending on the
yeah,
nature of what they're trying to do and what they need from us, right?
yeah,
If that's on the product side, are you prepared? Do you have the
exactly,
inventory? Do you have the shipping supplies? Can you afford the shipping? Because
yeah,
that's something that's outside of your control. You don't control how much FedEx or UPS or the post office charges for shipping. Those are things that you have to factor in. Can you really handle the growth you desire?
exactly, exactly. And a difference with the product and the service. So am
Mhm.
I available, like you said, with the time? But with the product, then I need it's not just relying on me and my time, but also the inventory.
Right.
Yeah,
Shipping times, things that are completely outside of your control, how the package gets sent to the person.
yeah,
Like you can't control the fact that UPS might throw your package and it gets crushed, and then
yeah,
the person receives the item and it's partially damaged or something like that, which
yeah,
goes back to, like you said, an influx of customers has a trickle down effect because now how are people receiving what
yeah,
I sent out? If I
Exactly.
ship a bunch of stuff and 50 out of those 100 packages get damaged because the shipper isn't careful with the package. That's a lot of negative reviews.
And
50 out of 100.
yep.
How do we handle that? Are you prepared for things like that? Those are the kind of things that you don't even really think about starting out, honestly.
Yeah, yep. And I'm glad you said that because it leads back to those negative reviews. Then if you get so many negative reviews on certain platforms, then you lose it. So now
Yeah.
you lose income because
Yeah.
you haven't really you thought your ego said that you can handle it, or
Hmm.
yeah, I can handle it. Because sometimes we say it and we haven't really even thought about if we can handle it. Are we ready for the next level? And
No.
then there's a difference between growing and
And
scaling. And
scaling. Yeah.
sometimes people think it's the same and it's not. When you growing, which is good, we want to grow in our business. It's really about you putting in more hours, serving more clients, and increasing revenue by doing this yourself. And sometimes you do have to hire part-time help or contractors, but it's like going like this. Your business going like this, but your expenses and operations is doing that. With
Yeah.
scaling, it's just a different. It's the opposite. Scaling means you're growing your revenue without matching the increase. So you're scaling, right? And it's going this way, but your expenses is still like this.
And
So
right.
you're scaling. And then you're able to focus on building the infrastructures and the systems and the automation and a strong team. And then this is often involves like you shift into passive income streams to one to many offerings. I also say in my own business, I do a lot of one-on-ones. As
Hmm.
I grow, I may have to start doing groups because now
Hmm.
I can't give you any more hours. I'm already seeing
Right.
you
All I have is 24.
only have 24. But if I had more group sessions, I can service more people without giving more of my
The
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is definitely the difference between growth and scaling. And then there's also, if I can, I would like to give a few tips about what you need to do. Just if you say, well, Ebony, how do I do this? This can be in any industry. You can systemize everything. We talked about AI.
Hmm.
You can do this from your tasks, your step-to-step instructions. You could do this from client onboarding and order processing. I build websites, and it's just not because I create websites, but you want to make that passive money. You want to bring in that revenue that when you're sleeping, that is all being taken care of. So, for example, I have clients that don't have websites, and they will eventually. And we know it costs money,
Hmm.
but if they get a client, it comes on Instagram. They DM them, "Hey, I want to order this shirt." Then my client got to say, "What size shirt?" "Oh, medium." "And what size is this?" "Oh, it's $25." So they're going back and forth, but that's only going with the conversation of the person that's initiating the conversation. Then you
Hmm.
have to wait on the person to see if they've
The
seen it. Because if
response.
they got
Yeah.
distracted, then
Yeah.
that sale is not going. But if I had a website, they can review the website, they can look at it, they can shop, they'll get the receipt, the money go into my bank account. It will email me when I get up and say, hey, this person ordered it. And if I had drop shipping, then it's going to, and I never did,
The
anything. So
work. Yeah.
yeah, you have to systemize everything if you can. And what I did notice too is, and a lot of people are afraid to say this. We used to have to hire so many different positions, but with AI, you're able to do that administration, that those things, those appointment reminders, those newsletters, make it work for you. Now, I still believe that you still need a good team. You still need a good team,
Absolutely.
but you have to know when it's time. But you can automate those things. And then also, when you do build a team, you have to identify your strengths and the tasks that drain your time and don't require your expertise. Sometimes we hire people and we want to micromanage them. If you hire somebody, train um and identify those tasks that you need so you won't have to do that. If that's hiring a virtual assistant or a freelancer for admin tasks, let them do it. Social media, bookkeeping, or customer service, you could do all of those things. And you may not need a W-2 employee, you may need a contractor.
Contractor. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do all those things and develop clear job descriptions and set expectations and investing in onboarding and training to build trust and confidence. I know for this summer, I hired my daughters. One is more admin, one is good with the videos and the computers. I paid them. but I had to let that go. So now I could see more clients, or I could do something else, or I could do something as today, if we're talking today. So be able to step out your business a little bit and know that it's in good hands, but also you still want to look at it because it's your baby, and
It
no
is.
one's really gonna love it like you, but you don't have to micromanage um,
Right. And
everything.
that's really taking on the
Mhm.
role of CEO,
Yes,
right? Where you're working on the business, not in the business.
yes,
You're going from managing, supervising, and being your own employee of
yeah,
sorts to really taking on that CEO role where you're bringing in people and trust them to do the job,
yeah.
right? Like the CEOs of major corporations, you don't have time to micromanage that many people.
Oh yeah, can't. Nope.
You'll never get anything done. And
Yes,
if I my thing is if I have to micromanage you, I might as well do it.
I might as well do it. Yeah, yep.
So
And I
that
used to do that.
requires mindset shifts
Yes,
that says I'm going to bring people in, vet whoever you can vet. I mean, the
yeah,
nature of dealing the nature of business is it's human, right?
yeah,
You are going to be dealing with people. Because you're dealing with people, there are going to be factors you cannot account for. You can't account for whether or not everybody you bring in is trustworthy. You do
yeah,
what you can to
yeah,
vet them, and then when you identify red flags, address them. If they
yeah.
can't be addressed, fire them, find somebody else.
Yes,
So you
yes,
don't have time to micromanage people when you're growing. You definitely don't have time to micromanage people when you're scaling. Um,
yes,
and that just requires that shift into the CEO mindset, not just having CEO on your Instagram to make you look important if you can't think like a CEO.
exactly. That is so true. And if you build systems and data, it can't lie. So say for instance, when I was an area practice manager, the CEO would have our meetings and every regional manager would have to come and we would have to talk about our numbers. We have this blue screen up and we looking at our numbers and he would go around and say, "Hey, Ebony, I noticed that you were short on your numbers. What happened?" So then I'd have to be able to answer to
It's
that.
right, right.
I can't tell him, "Oh no, I had 400." No, we looking at the numbers.
I
Tell me
see the
why it
number.
didn't come up. So if you have these systems that are transparent and these reports, it's all out there.
Yes.
This is something that I didn't generate and put in the system. It counted how many people I saw. And then I can go back and tell you if I'm a good manager and tell you, "Oh yeah, we short because the doctor was on PTO this week. She was off 5 days. And so X, Y, and Z. Or I met go because I borrowed their doctor from another site to come over. So that's why we made up our numbers. So you should be able to explain your numbers. And
That's good.
sometimes, yeah, Boz just started, and sometimes we're the first generation. We don't have all these teams. Now, this was a big organization that I worked for, but it's just us. So, but you should be able to speak to some things. So even if you're not an expertise, everybody knows I'm not an accountant. I have clients that come to me and talk about numbers. I didn't go to school for that. I did take
I
some
know
accounting
some people I
classes.
can send you to. Like that's the extent of it.
That's it.
They went to school for that. I don't want to have to learn that. Let me send you to
Exactly.
a professional. Yeah.
Let me send you to the professionals.
Yeah.
But I'm able to speak on it. If you pull them numbers up, like I said, some
I
not
can
right
tell
about
you
it.
why.
I can tell you why. Oh, this is why right here. But yeah, so you have to be able to speak to those things, even though you're not an expert in that area. But I can refer you off. Sometimes we'll say, "Okay, my accountant could do this, my accountant," and then when we find out, oh, they didn't pay this or they didn't pay that, it's
Mhm.
because you never was able to speak to it or look at it. Look at those things because now when you become a CEO, you're not looking that day-to-day operations. You are
Right.
taking to go higher from a bird's eye view. So you're looking at your business and looking at the future of it and seeing if it's healthy, right now.
That's good.
Yeah, we're not staying in the hustle and bustle all the time.
At
We
all, because that's
grow.
not sustainable. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that. It's not sustainable. And
Yeah.
you are going to find yourself mad
Yes.
that you started the business.
Yes.
You're going to find yourself mad at your customers. You're going to find yourself mad at all the things that aren't working
Yeah.
when really it's just shifting your mind
Yeah.
and assessing your motives.
Mm-hmm.
all along the way. Like
Yeah,
that's a system of checks and balances that had mindset and motives, mindset and motives, mindset and motives. You are going to do that for the life of your business.
exactly. And you have to know when to shift. If not, it's going to be just like Radio Shack versus Apple. It's
Oh
going to be the
my.
Sears versus the Walmarts. It's going to
It
be the
is.
Blockbusters versus the Netflix.
Netflix.
Have to
Yes.
know when to shift.
Yes.
The change is coming. Now, it doesn't stop. People still watch movies. So the core of it, but how they get to it, people like convenience, people like fast. So don't change your business just because the world is changing, Evo. Just pivot. How are you getting that information to them? During COVID, I did a lot of virtual classes. People couldn't get out. So I would have a lot of workshops. But when people was ready to get out, they was ready to get out.
They
So
were
I
ready.
to pivot. It didn't change what I was teaching or what I was bringing to the client, but now how or where I meet them has to be a little
That
different.
makes a difference. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like to tell people an example that I use all the time is that Amazon created a whole new business model off of people's impatience. We
yeah,
have Amazon Prime because people got tired of waiting 5 to 7 business days for packages to be delivered.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Because if I
When
order
I
today,
was
I want
growing
it
up, that
today.
was the only option. I mean, let's be clear. I'm almost 49, and it's like, oh, y'all just don't like to wait.
Yeah,
So they created options for people who don't like to wait.
yes,
Never realized that was like it was legit 7 to 10 business days. That's not
yeah,
even including weekends, to be clear.
yeah.
We just had to wait.
Had to wait. And I'm so happy you said that, Cheryl, because look, I'm the one, if I order today, I want it to be shipped today. I want to get it today.
See, that's
But
my
that's
husband.
just that's
I'm not that eager. I can't.
that is I mean, but that's how the world is. But you know what? I cannot think of the name of the business, but it was in the 90s. And this is important for people if you shifting too fast or too early ahead of your time, because it had to be the right place, the right product at the right time. There was this company that did almost like grocery store. They would deliver groceries. And at that time in the 90s, they didn't believe it, they didn't depend on it. I forgot
Oh,
the name of it. And they went bankrupt
they went bankrupt,
doing exactly what Walmart doing now.
doing exactly what everybody is doing now.
They were ahead of their time.
It was,
They weren't at the right place. They had the right product
they had the right
at the
product.
right place. Yeah, yeah. And you have to know your target audience. Baby boomers, they trust you, they depend. If I go to the grocery store and that's it, there's an aisle full of Cokes, my mom is going to go to Coca-Cola because she depends
She
on it.
believes that brand.
She
Yeah,
believes that brand. Now, this could have more, this one could offer her more, have more nutrition, but this is what she knows, right? So baby boomers, they're there, let's go to the job, let's retire, let's do this. They're
yeah,
in the routine. And so
yeah.
they were talking to a generation that wasn't risk
That
takers.
wasn't
Now,
there
my
yet.
kids, they like Coca-Cola, what? Like, so they are into all of these
The
innovative
new
things,
stuff. Yeah,
the new
yeah.
stuff, right? So yeah, you have to have the right product, the right place. And here it is to go back to it again. They had to test it. So that company had a great idea, but they hadn't tested it. So they put so much money, billions of
Into
dollars
the idea.
into the idea and failed because they didn't test it.
And I have seen people do that
Yeah.
on small scales.
Yeah.
You found out this particular style of dress was popular. And so you went and invested in a bunch of inventory and haven't sold
Come
even one
on.
of them.
Come on.
And we don't even see that dress anymore.
Nope. And you're sitting on it.
And you just sitting on it. And now you got to find a way to liquidate it for
Yeah.
significantly less than what you paid for it,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
try to earn at least a little bit of your money back.
Yeah.
So doing that market research
Yeah.
is necessary. And it's not something that should scare you away from starting.
Yeah.
It's just proof that it matters to you that you serve people well. That's
Yeah.
how I look at market research.
Yes.
If it matters to me that I give people the absolute best
Yeah.
of what I know, I'm going to find out what they actually want, not just give them what I think they should have.
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's why people buy. People, I go to
People
a
do
nail.
not care. They do, let's be clear. They don't care about what you sell. They want their problem solved.
Exactly.
period.
Yes.
And
And
that's with every service, with every product. It solves a problem. If you sell
yep,
jewelry, I need you to solve the problem of me looking cute and having accessories to go with all of my outfits.
yep,
I don't care. I just
yep,
need you to solve the problem. If you're a business consultant, I don't care.
yep,
Care about your offers. I don't care about any of that. I'm trying to start a business. I need my problem solved.
yeah, exactly.
Market research is you caring about solving the problem they have, not
Yes.
just you getting your thing into the hands of people and
Yeah.
having them pay you.
Yeah. That's so true. And it goes hand in hand. People will invest into you. They will invest into you. They're investing in how you make them feel. They invest in, like you said, anybody can do a website. Anybody can come for consulting, any consultations. They could do any of those things. They Most of my clients come to me because they said I was either referred to you or I'm drawn to you. I don't know what it is, but I'm drawn to you.
Yeah,
That's what they would tell me.
yeah.
They The least likely I heard is, hey, I need a website. They're like, I'm drawn to you. So then I went on your website to see what you offer. So now you do you really need a website, or you we talking? So now they're saying I'm drawn to you. I don't know what it is. I feel like God want me to start. So now I'm walking into my purpose, my
Mm-hmm.
divine. Because when I pray in the morning, I say, God, send my clients to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when they call me and they say, I don't know why you're drawn to me, I know why they're
I
drawn to
know
me.
why.
I know why. And I know who sent you. So then
Yeah,
now as me as a consultant, it's my responsibility to see what need that I can best help them with. Because now I'm not just doing it for myself, because now it's a God thing, it's a divine
yeah,
connection. So I
yeah.
don't want to just sell to you just to be selling. I
Right.
really want to know what's the need. Then I find out, oh, you're not ready for a website, even though I could get bigger money for that. You really came here for a business plan. You came here to register your business. Let's start there. And so now we building this relationship, because now it's a trust. Because I also have to trust you. I'm giving you my hard work and money. I have
Right.
to trust you.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that takes it deeper,
Yeah.
especially for those of us who say this is what God told me to do.
Yeah.
Right. I came into 2024 telling people we're not forging God's name on anything.
Come
If
on.
it's your idea, just say it's your idea. Don't
Yeah.
attach his name to it and then hold him hostage to something he never said.
Yeah. Exactly.
If it's your idea, just say it's your idea
And
and
then
we can work with that.
yes.
But
Absolutely.
either way, whether it's a God idea or your idea, you need strategy, you need structure,
Yes.
you need systems in place, you need a plan. You
Yes.
need to understand what you're selling, who you're selling to.
Yeah.
You need to be able to check your motives at the door. You need to care enough about your customers that you are so deeply ingrained in their mindset. Because I
Yeah.
think that's something too that we miss is that we don't think enough like the people we serve
Yeah.
to be able to serve them on a deeper level, right?
Mhm.
So if I deeply understand the
Yes.
fear that you have around the presidential administration and certain funding being cut,
Mm.
and your business relies on this funding, if I deeply understand that, then that means on the back end, I'm actively looking for other things that I could point you in the direction to.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you're not just relying on this one thing that could potentially go away today or tomorrow,
Exactly.
right? That may mean we need to look at your pricing model.
Yeah.
Where is there room for you to adjust your pricing so that you're making the money just on your products and services and not necessarily having to rely on funding that could be snatched away, right?
Exactly.
But that's because I have taken a look at who my people are,
Yeah.
what matters most to them, what they're afraid of, what they're drawn to, what they're passionate about, and then center my offers around that. Like that to me is what a service oriented business does. That to me is what a product oriented business does that cares about customer service.
Exactly. That's it.
It's
That's it.
not just me answering your questions about what I do.
Yeah.
I am thinking on the back end
Yes.
about
Yes.
what you need, about where you're trying to go. Um, and like I know that's something even with building websites, right?
Yeah.
Like we're so far advanced in web development these days,
Mhm.
but if I know you have a vision in your business for your revenue being whatever, I can't build you a website that's too small,
Yeah.
right? Like I've got to build so you can build.
Yes.
Even if all of these extra pages are hidden, even if we
Yes.
turn off all of these extra pages, you're going to need them eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to build you something that's way too small. I'm going to build you something that you can, like, I like to tell people when they're building businesses to think of it like buying land,
Yeah.
right? I would rather you buy a huge piece of land and build a small house on it than to buy a small piece of land and build a big house because you've got nowhere to grow. You can't
Yeah.
grow any farther.
Yeah.
So start off with a large foundation
Mm-hmm.
and build small.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
small is relative. Small doesn't mean the same thing to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not mean the same thing to everybody. So considering what matters to you as a business owner, consider what matters to you 5 years, 10 years. Are you building with the intent? And then those intentions come into play, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, are you building with the intention of your children taking over the business? Is this
Exactly.
going to be a family business?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're building something, now we're talking about even that is talking about something completely different.
Exactly. Exactly. Cheryl, I'm so happy you said that because even when I speak to entrepreneurs who starting off, and I really like the consultations because then I'm able to have that hindsight and say, well, I know what they're saying, but they're really saying this. And
Hmm.
that kind of comes after you've been sitting with clients before wisdom research, right?
Yeah,
And there's clients who have a community idea, they have a nonprofit idea, but they want to give it over to their family, right? And so I'm like, okay, you have a nonprofit idea, you're registered as a nonprofit, but you don't own a nonprofit, but you want to give it to your kids. So do you want a non like how can that's make sure your business structure
the
matches with
structure.
your
Yes,
vision is? Because a
yes.
lot of what I learned about with nonprofits, and I love nonprofits. I actually started a nonprofit before I did the for profit, and that's how my consulting company came. But with nonprofits, I realized when it's time to create that board and those people that you have to rely on and have to, they can vote you in and out. They're like, wait, I don't want a board. I just had a vision. Well, let's talk
That's
about
not
this.
how that works. The IRS says
Yes, you can own this. You can manage it, but
you
you
don't
can't
own
own
it.
it, baby. And I need to tell
Yeah,
you that before we spend all this money into this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And being 20 years as a nonprofit, next year will be 20 years. It's so wild to be able to say that.
Yes.
20 years as a
Congrats.
nonprofit founder, and I've over the last 16 years been doing nonprofit consulting. That
Okay.
is the toughest part to get people to understand is like you can bring your kids in to manage.
Yeah.
Nobody owns the entity.
They own it. And it may change your mind on how you want to structure it. I have people,
Precisely.
yeah, they come in and they want to register it. And once I talk to them, they say, let me get a minute. Let me pause. And it's okay. Take that minute to really see it. And some people come back and say, yes, I want to go forward. I understand that I have a better understanding with it. Some people say, oh, wait, I think I really want a foundation
A
or I really want an
foundation. Yeah.
LLC
Yeah.
or yeah. So they look at those
It
things.
makes a difference. It
Yeah.
definitely makes a difference. That
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then just and I know we're close. I could talk all day, but this
I
is the
know.
but I do have just a few reflections and next steps because I like to leave people with okay, now Ebony, what's next?
Hmm.
And just four questions to think about to reflect on. What's your one daily or weekly task you can write down into a system? And what tasks or roles can you realistically delegate in the next 30 days? And what scalable offer could you create or improve starting this quarter? And then my last question is, how would you track and analyze your key financial metrics moving forward? And so remember, scaling is a deliberate process of building systems, teams, and products that allow your business to thrive without requiring your constant presence. It's not about working harder, but smarter and with intention. So I wanted to leave that with
I
that.
absolutely love that last part. It's about working smarter, not
Yeah.
harder. It's about working with intention,
Yeah.
not let's just throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yes. Yes.
That intentionality is what creates longevity
Yeah. Yeah.
because you're laying the foundation today for what you intend for tomorrow. I think that is absolutely amazing. How can people connect with you, take
Yeah.
advantage of your services if they are interested in starting a business?
Yes. So I'm on Instagram at Ebony Consults. I leave tips there. Of course, I have a website, www.ebonyconsults with the S dot solutions with the S. So the website again is www.ebonyconsults.solutions. They can also call me at 1-888
Come on, phone number.
307 5533. Again, my number is 1-888-307-5533. That's me directly. It's not AI, it's me. Hey, I like to talk
Oh,
to
I
my
love
clients.
that.
Yeah, so it's me. Now when I scale, then I have to, do that. But right now I love to talk to people. So call me, visit my website. Again, I'm on Instagram. They can always reach me. They can email me at info@ebonyconsults.solutions. So it's the same as the website, just the info@ebonyconsults.solutions. And I try to get back to you within 24 hours, if not sooner.
Love that. Thank you so much for being with us. And for those of you who are going to be here in Baton Rouge on July 19th, Ebony will be with us in person. I am so excited for you to meet her in person, and just kind of connect with her, especially these days. Like it is, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
I want to put that out there. Like it is still worth it to pursue the dream of owning your own business, even if it's part-time, right? We don't do side hustles.
Yeah.
It's a part-time business. It is
Yes.
still worth it in spite of all the things that are happening in the world, in spite of maybe some of the things that you are seeing where funding is being cut. There are still so many low cost and no cost tools that you can use to start and run your business, even if it means you're starting off part-time, starting off slow. Slow movement is still movement,
Yes. Steady.
right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely still worth it. So be sure to take advantage of Ebony's services, and I will see you all on Saturday here in Baton Rouge at Oak Lodge. Doors open at 8:30. To know me is to know I start on time. So when I say we are starting at 9, we are starting at 9. But I will see you all here in Baton Rouge on Saturday, July 19th. Looking forward to connecting with you all soon. Bye bye.